Even though football players earn millions of dollars, they occasionally commit blunders that lose them everything. Car accidents, illegal houses, and rob being held at gunpoint are all faults that cost football players millions of dollars. And losing money in another reality can happen, as it did to Neymar. It all started with him putting money in the metaverse and embarking on an NFT buying spree. What began as a $25,000 mutant, led to them gathering over 60 more NFTs, including not one, but two. Two Bored Apes worth around $500,000 apiece. That's more than $1 million on some profile pics. Yet Neymar didn't perceive it as an issue until everything fell apart shortly after he announced his acquisitions to the world. The excitement surrounding NFTs faded and crypto values began to fall. Reports circulated that most NFT projects will be reduced to $0 or less. One of Neymar's most costly monkeys, which he paid $500,000 for, was only worth $100,000. To make matters worse, the Bored Ape project was accused of paying celebrities like Neymar to market their NFTs at inflated pricing, to make them more valuable than they were, and were being sued for $4 billion. This project's reputation is now permanently tarnished. Hence, if the price is falling, don't make an NFT investment that will cost you over $1 million. Legal concerns may have arisen, but they were not as severe as Cristiano Ronaldo's loss of millions and near-death experience. Ronaldo has been known to own every vehicle imaginable, but his favorite acquisition was a $2 million Bugatti Veyron. So every time this car hit the streets, it went viral, which looked like a good thing until Ronaldo was on a family vacation and enjoying the time of his life. Yet he couldn't stop thinking about this Bugatti. So he hired a yacht to transport it across the water and drop it off at the island since we couldn't wait till he returned. But Ronaldo committed a tremendous blunder. He sent his assistant to pick it up and bring it to him, and the driving was nice at first, but a car that travels 0 to 100 in 3 seconds isn't something they were used to, and they crashed Ronaldo's Bugatti, and it was entirely totaled. Not only that, but it smashed into the wall of someone's house, destroying their entire property. As the automobile was being taken away, Ronaldo realized this was more than a $2 million problem. The collision appears to have pulled a water meter out of position. A door blew from its hinges, 2 concrete columns were destroyed, and the family's dog was terrified. Then Ronaldo ordered him to get everything mended, retain the receipts, and he'd pay for any damage caused by the Bugatti. But at the very least, he just lost a fuse, whereas Leon Ozzy lost 5 times as much by purchasing something unlawful. Messi had just returned from one of his favorite spots in the world, Ibiza, but he wasn't here for a vacation. He was looking for his dream home, and he eventually pulled up to this. Messi's paradise had everything a superstar requires. That is why it cost him $11 million. Nevertheless, shortly after signing the paperwork, Messi became a suspect in a high-profile crime. His new house was deemed illegal by the government. Messi purchased this crib from a shady guy who was concealing secrets behind the government's back. When he first purchased the estate, it had only 4 bedrooms, but he later expanded it and added 2 additional rooms without informing the authorities. As a result, there was no legal planning. He did not obtain the building, and he lacked the certificate that permitted anyone to live in the house, which is essential in Spain. But it wasn't until the mansion was put up for sale and Messi bought it that anyone noticed there was a problem. So Messi couldn't even dwell in his new house until he figured out the matter. Even though he had legal representation, the only choice was for him to demolish part of his house. Messi actually paid $11 million for his purchase to be destroyed. Yet it was Paul Pogba's millions that got him held at gunpoint. Vogel was the last person you'd expect to be in a life-or-death scenario. I mean, after signing contracts worth millions of dollars, he began transferring money to his family and friends. For over a decade, he has let friends live in his house for free and has taken care of everyone close to him. But Pogba's goodwill was used one day. Pogba was told that someone close to him swiped his credit card and spent $200,000 on something. When Pogba lost trust in, his entourage stopped helping him, and he kicked everyone out to focus on himself, but that's when things went fatal. Several crooks drove up to Pogba's crib and knocked on his door one night. When Pogba answered, he was looking down the barrel of a gun, so they put him into a car, drove him to a hidden place, and warned Pogba that if he didn't transfer them $13 million they would. They'd murdered him, so he definitely paid the price and was let go. That trade may have saved Pogba's life, but it turned out that he knew exactly who had kidnapped him. Pogba recognized the pleasant sounds from the cops and informed him that it was his boyhood friend and his own brother Mattia. Therefore, it wasn't long before the matter became widely publicized. We now know from police investigations in both France and Italy that Pogba and some boyhood acquaintances attempted to extort money. Paul, several threats have been made. They came to his residence, and after this story went viral, Pop's brother was imprisoned for armed kidnapping and extortion. So Pop's error was just doing too much for the wrong people, but he lost far more than $13 million. That cost him his brother and a buddy, but it wasn't as awful as losing Laden. Ibrahimovic has lost almost $20 million while pursuing his childhood goal. Laden became a football icon after playing at the highest level for nearly 15 years. So he thought he couldn't fail at anything, and now he's making millions of dollars. He opted to put it into something he had wanted to own since he was a child. I've worked for large corporations. I've been practicing in a variety of outfits, and having your own clothes, well, it's like a dream. Not long after that, Zlatan made things official by launching his own clothing line, A to Z Sportswear, which stood for amateur Tatum. He made these things inexpensive to everyone and ensured that the entire globe was aware of them. Laden began repping his clothes. While donning them, he posted all over Instagram and even dropped some of the corniest acts in YouTube history. Why don't we say just good boxers, just like that? But jokes like that would have been made if no one took his brand seriously. So it wasn't long until this Laden began losing millions. He had hoped to become the new Nike or Adidas. Therefore, without even testing the market, he began having his products designed using high-quality materials, raising the price of everything. Despite the fact that he continued to promote the clothing, they were really just items with an A to Z brand. As a result, admirers never felt compelled to purchase his clothing because nothing about it was distinctive. And it wasn't long before his Latin was losing $2 million every year. Suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, on the brand's official Instagram, they made 3 unusual posts announcing that they will be having 50% off sales. Even with this transaction, it was clear that traction never materialized, because they made one final announcement, a thank you for everything, and stated that there was just one more chance to purchase any of the merge before the site was shut down. Within days, the site not only vanished, but Satin was compelled to abandon his idea, which cost him over $22 million, or perhaps the $22 million lost Laden. In any case, none of these players lost money because of their physical parts. Vinicius Jr lost millions of dollars due to his foot. For decades, Nike has been the exclusive sponsor of all of Brazil's biggest talents. And when the company learned about Vinicius Jr, a young emerging talent, they immediately signed him to a 10-year, $75 million contract. Football was going well, and he now had a steady source of income. Sweet. I thought he could concentrate on being excellent and becoming an important part of their brand. Yet, just as quickly as everything was going up for Vinny, Nike brought it all crashing down. Vinny's signing with Real Madrid, one of the most prominent clubs in football, marked a turning point in his career, propelling him from a star to a superstar. But Nike didn't like that because the club Vinny joined was sponsored by Nike's main competitor, Adidas. Nike now thought that if they gave Vinny any kind of chance to be in this S, it was recognizing their most important competitor. So Nike began doing everything they could to stymie Vinny's rise to global fame. It all started during Real Madrid's Champions League run, when Vinny put on a show for his team, scoring 4 goals in 6 games and propelling them to first place. Yet, during Vinny's entire career, he only received obsolete models of Nike cleats, such as these Mercurials, rather than Nike allowing him premiere their new. They seemed to exclusively send him older models to limit how much attention he'd provide. Vinny appeared to be blackballed at Nike, despite the fact that the firm is worth billions of dollars. Nike escalated the matter after this occurrence. The date is November 24, 2022. The World Cup, football's pinnacle event, has arrived. So what better time for Nike to release one of their most memorable commercials? The issue was that you could see a lot of other Nikes throughout the video. They'd even let Phil Foden, who has a smaller Nike contract, make a cameo appearance, but their most popular Brazilian star, Vinny, was nowhere to be found. The unfortunate aspect was that this became one of Nike's most popular World Cup commercials, with 8 million views. Now it could have been a wonderful opportunity for Vinny to earn some admirers, but maybe his absence from the video was just a coincidence, or so I thought until Nike released a second commercial featuring Vinny's last popular colleague, Rodrigo, and another film introducing Brazil's new World Cup kids, featuring almost every single Brazilian star except Vinny. Thus, after being unable to star in the viral and acquiring obsolete equipment. Vinny was convinced that Nike would drop him any day soon. Instead of allowing him to make headlines by releasing it, Vinny simply did it. It was revealed that he was irritated and wanted to leave his partnership. Even supporters alleged that they thought his contract was out of date because he gained millions of followers on social media. He doesn't get enough attention from them for the celebrity he's become, and he's been wearing old versions of their boots. So not long after, Vinny hired lawyers and sought to get him out of his contract. But this decision will result in Vinny losing $45 million. The only thing worse is almost losing your life. I hope you enjoyed our video, and remember to subscribe to CFC Insider for future updates until we meet again in the next video.